Hey traders, I want to do this video for you today. Obviously the title is not a clickbait. Are we about to see a tech bubble crash? Or are we about to see the tech bubble and that's we're in right now? Are we about to see that crash? This is a massive warning sign, and that's not a clickbait or anything like that. So before you guys go click the dislike button, this is actually a true warning sign. Okay, I'm starting to see a massive topping pattern amongst the Nasdaq stock and the Nasdaq, and amongst a lot of the tech stocks as well. So I'm gonna walk you through exactly what I'm seeing right now, and let's actually get straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video, because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty traders, so let's get straight into it right now. Right now it is 1:47 on the 3rd of the 3rd, and I'm doing this recording. So there's still about just over, what is that? I still have 2 hours left of the market to close on today, and I'm just doing my analysis today, doing my trading. And firstly, guys, I personally love trading. You know, when it comes to these markets, I personally love trading because I have these patterns that they're so reliable, and most of the time when I get into them, they just end up making a profit. You know, that's just most of the time. I'd say at least 70% of the time. You know, I have one pattern that's 70%. I have another trade that does like 90% success rates, and that these patterns. So when I do these market update videos for you guys, I'm just doing it based on what the markets are telling me. But it doesn't mean I'm going to trade that. Makes sense? I only trade based on a system, not because I think something's going to happen. And again, if you'd like to learn my system or my #1 trading pattern that I use, then just go to johnsfreetraining.com, or there should be a link in the description to go join a free training. I'll walk you through my entire trading system and my #1 pattern that I use to trade. But I just want to put that aside, because I see a lot of people saying about how I trade and so on and so forth. I don't trade based on these market updates. I trade based on a system. It's important for you to trade on a system as well too. So if I get into what the market's telling me right now, let me walk you back. Let's go back to simple trend analysis, okay? Because some people just totally forget this one simple thing, but it can mean so much to you and your trading. And I don't normally do these videos like right now. I normally wait for the market to close, I normally finish my trading, and then I do one of the market update videos for you guys. So let's look at a simple trend analysis. In an upward trend, we have what? We have higher lows and higher highs, okay? In a downward trend, what do we have? We have lower lows and lower highs. So in an upward trend, higher lows, higher highs, lower lows, lower highs. Okay, simple trend analysis. In a downward trend, look what's happening right now in the Nasdaq. Now, this could spell a significant pullback, or call it a crash in the tech stocks. We have a right shoulder here. Look at that beautiful right shoulder. Then we have the head, and now we're forming what? This is the head here. This is the left shoulder. We're forming a left shoulder. So we're looking at we're looking at the Nasdaq now up close and personal. Up close and personal. Hey darling, how you doing? Up close and personal. Want to go watch a movie? Actually, no. That's a really bad first date, by the way. Go watch a movie. You're not even talking. Let's go grab some ice cream and we'll go for a walk. Come on, darling. Let's grab the dog. Let's go for a walk. Up close and personal. If this was a girl right now, I'd be like, eject. Run. So looking at back to the Nasdaq stocks here, the Nasdaq here, right shoulder head. So we are forming a bit of a topping pattern here overall. And you'll notice my short-term moving average. It's a 20 moving average. It's nothing special. It's just a moving average. And as you can see, by the last sort of 6 or so months back here since November, we've been making higher lows above the moving average all the way up. Look what's happening recently. We're starting to form this potential sort of lower high here, and we're starting to roll over. And this is the small picture here. So it's important that when we're doing analysis that this is the small picture. But if I go back to the big picture, say for 1 year, look where we are right now. And if I go to my weekly charts now, which gives me a massive long-term picture, look how high up we are when it comes to, when it comes to this weekly chart. Now, one thing you'll notice is if I bring up let's bring up a chart here. Let's just bring up a chart. Okay, here. All right, so I'm going to bring up a chart of the Nasdaq. And I like to use the 52 moving average to see whether we are too overbought or not. And one thing you'll notice about this 52 moving average, if you look on the daily charts, you notice as well too. But if you look at the 52 moving average on the weekly charts, you'll notice that over time, if you notice, look at this over history, what happens when we get too far away from it? We end up getting a pullback. So there's no exact sort of proper turning point in the Nasdaq, meaning like we don't know exactly when the high or the oversold is going to make the high or low. But when we start to get, as you can see in the past, when we've gotten too far away from the 52, we've pulled back to it. Too far away from the 52, we pulled back to it. Even down here, right? Look what happened. And we pulled back to it there. But look what's happening now. Look how far away we are from the 52. It's the furthest away from the 52 it's been for quite some time. So that tells me that we're way overstretched. This is the big picture, right? So the small picture around here was what? We had the shoulder, we had the head, and we had the shoulder, okay? So that's on the daily charts. Now we're looking at the big picture charts. Look what's happening now. We're so far away from the 52. Where over history, the history says that when we're trying to buy stocks and we're trying to get into the market based on, we're trying to buy low, right? We're trying to buy at a good time and sell high, buy low, sell high. Well, one of the things when I'm buying stocks, one of the things when I'm actually getting in the market is how far away are we from the 52, especially on that weekly chart. Because if we're too far away, guess what? We're oversold and we're now likely to get a pullback. And since the Nasdaq has simply just done this overall, we're about to see, I believe we're about to see a pullback down to at least the $11,000 level around that 52. If I use a Fibonacci level, just to give me a gauge of where it may pull back, then if I go from there to there, which is that low point down there to where we are right now, then I would say that we're probably or even maybe down towards the $10,000 level. We could start to see the Nasdaq. We could start to see these tech stocks start to drop out and start to see a free fall. Now, it totally surprises me because the S&P and the S&P and the Dow are not like that. The S&P and the Dow, we're not getting this topping pattern, but on the tech stocks, we are. So we're seeing this right now. And once again, that's obviously what we're seeing through there. But if I go and have a look at some of the tech stocks that I'm actually personally focused on, I actually want to trade. Let's actually go through and look at just some of the tech stocks I've been looking at. So, for example, let's go to Apple here. Apple. Look what Apple's doing right now. Apple did what? If I actually go to my weekly chart, Apple actually had a high here, which is a false breakout to the upside, and now we're running back down. And we're not only are we running back down on the weekly charts, but once again, if you'll see, not only are we running back down on the weekly charts, but look at this daily chart. Look what's happening right now. We had a low, now we're creating. We're starting to develop more of a downward trend on Apple. Look at this here. We had a high, low. Look at this here. Ran up, made a lower high, failed, come back down, lower low, lower high. Apple's in a downtrend now. So not only is Apple in a downtrend, but once again, if we go back to our 52 chart on the weekly charts, look how far away Apple is from the 52. So we could start to see another, maybe even a 20% drop in Apple. Look what happened here. Remember, this is the whole crash situation that happened last year. And I personally bought Apple down here. And look at this. Apple got too far away from the 52. It pulled back to the 52. And I actually bought Apple. I actually bought call options with Apple. I didn't write it all the way up. I got out about here somewhere. It's like, I didn't know we're going to keep going up. I just said, okay, if we get close to the high, then I'm going to get out. So I made a lot of money on that trade anyway, so that's all that mattered. But I didn't buy it because of the 52, but that was one of the things that I saw that, okay, we're so overbought because look how far away we get away from the 52 before we start to pull back. To it. It's more like what we call a price and time tool, right? When it's over, or price and time, which simply means it's too overbought or too oversold right now, and we need to come back into some sort of equilibrium before we go for another run. And that's what's happening right now. False breakout. So I see Apple continuing to have a bit of a drop to the downside. Now I'm flipping my tune here because I'm flipping her off today. We went on a good date yesterday, darling, but today I don't know about that. You're in a bad mood. She's in a bad mood today, especially those techie ladies. Now, guys, this is only for some stocks out there, like Apple, and guys, some stocks that I've been really focusing on is stuff like even like Microsoft. I've been really focusing on Microsoft because I've been wanting to get into Microsoft because I was actually seeing that there's going to be a lot more upside, but I needed my confirmation to get in. My confirmation is getting a rally back up to 245. We're not getting that. Look what's happening. On the weekly charts, look what's happening. We actually broke above these highs. So we actually had a whole break up, and now we're actually breaking down. So this whole thing here could be one big final false breakout to the downside before we start to get a drop and at least a run back down towards the 200 level. So if I squeeze my chart up, look what's happening now. We're starting to do what? We're starting to create a lower high here now. So this is getting a lower high right now, and we're almost about to break this level here. So if that happens, and you can see we're actually below my moving average, we're probably going to start to see a drop to the downside. The other stock I'm looking at right now is also, I wouldn't say this is a tech stock, or maybe it is. Would you say it's a tech stock? Actually, come on. Let's go through to here. All right, so NFLX. Right, Netflix. So this is one tech stock that I've been focusing on, that I've been watching. And I've actually personally, once again, I've been waiting to get into this. And what I was waiting for, as you can see, look at this here. We're in a bit of a channel. And as you can see, we're actually holding here. So I personally was looking for the market to start to come back up to here, because this is one of my trading patterns that I like to trade. And I was looking to, and I wanted to get into, if Netflix did run back up towards $60, towards 600, I was looking to get into it, because if that happened, there was a really good chance we're going to run to around that sort of 680 level. And there was going to be a nice trade there. But I was waiting for confirmation. I haven't got into it yet. I've been waiting for that. But now look what's happening. We're starting to roll over now when it comes to Netflix. Once again, if I go to my short-term picture. So once again, guys, as you can see, this is just one of my trading patterns that I use when I'm trading. But this is this is the number one tool that I'm using. I'm utilizing. Or some of the tools I use to actually read the market. Say, are we overbought? Are we not? Are we overstretched? Are we not? Are we oversold or overbought? What's going on? And what's going on with the trend analysis? Are we starting to create a bit of a downward trend? That's a bit of a warning sign there. And I'm, this is exactly what I do, right? And I have a couple of different trading patterns that I utilize when I'm actually trading the markets. When I'm investing, it's the short-term swings that doesn't bother me, because I see 4 or 5 years out, or at least a couple of years out when it comes to those sort of things. Once again, if you'd like to learn my number one trading system that I use, my number one trading pattern that I use, then just go to Johns, JOHNS, freetraining.com, and I'll teach you all the details on that free training. But look what's happening here with Netflix once again. High, lower high, lower high, and we're about to break this low here. And look what's happening today, a big down candle. Now, guys, once again, it's 2 o'clock. So we still have 2 hours left of this session. So by the time the market session, we could actually be up here. So, I'm not saying that the candle's going to close here. We still need to wait for the candle to close. But we're getting a lot of weakness in the tech stocks. Now, guys, this is not weakness across all the markets, right? To me, it looks like we're starting to get a bit of a shake and bake right now for this. And it's really interesting that this is actually happening right at the same time that it actually happened last year, meaning the market really started to get a bit shaky around the end of February, start of March, and March was a bad month, and then the rest of the year was going to be really good. Guess what? I personally believe that's going to be the same thing for this year. I think we're about to get into some shaky periods for the next month. It's going to freak some people out, and then we're going to find a bottom and we're going to go for another big run again. So just keep in mind, okay? So there's two ways to actually play this. Firstly, look for some really good shorting opportunities within the tech stocks or within any markets, really. But make sure you're following a trading system. Once again, go to John's free training if you'd like to learn my number one trading pattern that I use. For me personally, I just absolutely love it. But firstly, how do you play that? Firstly, knowing that we are likely to do that. Secondly, don't freak out when this is happening, and stop listening to the munchkins and pumpkins and bumblebees on the news media, because they're going to start to really drill fear into you. The best time to buy some good stocks is when the market's crashing. Most of my really good successful trades were buying when the market was crashing last year. And then I just waited for a good 3 or 4 months, and then that was happening. So that's what I'm seeing right now, guys, from that. And, just be prepared. Be prepared for that. This may happen. Be prepared. I'm not saying it's definitely going to happen, guys. So don't start to short the market right now. Don't be a little bumblebee. That's the wrong thing to do. I only get into the market based on a system, right? I'll give you a bit of a guidelines that, okay, this is what's happening here. But it's also a bit of a warning sign that if this does happen, stay calm. Don't freak out. Because what's probably likely to happen is that we're probably likely to drop 10, 15%, freak people out when it comes to the tech stocks, and then there's going to be amazing buying opportunity for people out there that are doing their analysis and looking for really good buying opportunities. And then the rest of the year, we're probably likely to see a very, very, very big run. So this is what I'm seeing right now, guys. Let me know what you think in the chat box below. I'm not saying this is definitely going to happen, but all my indicators are starting to line up this way. And once again, if we start to look at the Nasdaq, if we start to break this low here on the Nasdaq, or that's my line in the sand, if we start to break this low here of 13, which we're starting to roll over now, then we're probably about to see a bit of a bloodbath. Is Black Friday about to hit us?